back to another devlog. So, got a lot of good stuff done this week. Here's an overview of the scope of the level so far. Here's the old stuff over here. Seen that before. This is all the basement layers all finished up, and this week I was continuing my work on this next scene here. So, what I've done here, go ahead and hide these. So this week, I I completed the details for this first hallway. Finished that up. So that's complete, and then I did this sector here, this hallway. It was kind of a small one, but that's all done. And then this one, this was a larger one. I did a little extra on here to make it look pretty sweet. As you see in the demo, that took some doing. And then at the end of the week, I was able to get this last one mostly completed. This is, I would say, 80% done. This is another exterior with the rain and stuff that you saw in the demo. I also went a little more on the external viewscape here, where you could actually see over the edge, and to give it a more kind of a better view, I guess, than just standard walls. But anyway, I'll go through my, if we turn on the actual, so almost done with the scene here. After I detail this, I just have this this hallway to do, this little room, and this hallway to connect the whole level up, and then you go up the stairs in the next level. So almost done with this scene. Definitely by next week I should be able to finish up the scene and then on to the next scene. And then if we look at where we are here, right now I'm on floor 2. Go here. So there's that one. The next floor, so I have floor 3 reception and reception B1. The next scene after that will be this kind of the same size, 2 large areas here. That's going to be some work, but we'll probably get into that next week, at least starting in on it next week. So making good progress. Overall, the week largely consisted of what I've been doing in general, which is just creating the doing the level construction as usual. On Monday, I kind of had to tidy up the rain system and the grid system a little bit. There were just minor bugs, and you know, just minor bugs that I spot along the way with like dimming and wall fades. So I just you know, minor bug fixes, but the majority of work through this week was detailing these areas, and most of the work was put into this one room here. I think I did a good job here. I kind of, instead of just a hallway connecting, I did like a bridge, and then there's this kind of like recessed area with lighting and stuff, and then back here, then there's another like, there's like a see-through grate with a glass. So I'm really kind of expanding on my custom assets, and then when you're walking through here, you can kind of see not like a flat area, but like as the camera's angled, you can kind of see like this lower level here. It's kind of illuminated in a different color. There's a contrast between the blue and the red. So there's that. And let's see if I have anything else here. Yeah, on Wednesday, finished up the details for Hall 1. I had this crazy idea of making this this sector rotate like clockwise and this intersector rotate counterclockwise, but it was one of those creative ideas where I really started to sit down and think about it, and it really kind of didn't make sense. It would add a whole bunch of technical complications, and I think it would be more trouble than it's worth. So I stuck to the original plan. One of the things I sat down and considered on Wednesday was like, am I going in the right direction? Like they suggest that you just want to do gray boxing gameplay prototype before actually doing any sort of art detail pass. And I sat down and thought about it. Like I could go through the and get the level construction done quicker and move on to gameplay prototyping, but I decided to continue with my plan of like putting a detail pass on the level, and I'm kind of glad I did, because I got to the gray box stage and it's like it just looks basic, but when you really go and get creative, like, and actually just do something out of the box, like at the end of the day it takes a bit more work, but then you have something that's a lot nicer to look at, and it's just much more interesting. It increases motivation. So unless it proves itself really false, like I turn around and do gameplay prototyping and it really doesn't work, and I kind of see that I'm losing a lot of work by having to refactor everything, then I'll probably consider just doing gray box from here on out. Or maybe I'll do it in level 2, but right now I'm just going to continue the way I'm going, because even though it's a bit more work, I think adding an art detail pass and getting it to 80% production quality is still worth it. I'm still making good progress. It takes more time, but so I'm doing the right course. I could move faster just gray boxing, but I'm going to stick to the methodology that's working for me so far. So on Thursday, I finished up Hall 2 detail pass, and I started putting out the floors of this new sector. So one of the things I fixed up was one of my tools. During the process, you kind of identify areas of friction that kind of, if you take the time to write a script or automate something, you can really kind of increase your efficiency. Like one of the things I was always doing, I was always moving the player around to different parts of the area, and each time I had a process of clicking the character and then clicking save transform and then going into the scene manager and saying, okay, which scene or which camera is it? Okay, stop the app, find the camera, input the set init vcam, and then click this button to reset the system to where the position is. All this whole thing is just, there's like, what, 5 steps there every time you want to change the initial vCamera position of the system. And so I figure out a way in order to like save the actual data. So when you're playing around, you're moving the character, and I figured out a way to actually create a button where you click this button and it'll save the data in a scriptable object, which means that it persists when the app play stops. And then after everything's reloaded, it'll set the player position and then do all the background stuff to call methods in order to tell the system, like, okay, this is your, it'll save the actual last VCAM, and pretty much it pretty much takes that 5-step process and allows me to just click one button and it will do all that work without me having to do it every time. So it's like little examples like this. So now moving forward, I don't, every time I want to change the player position for another test, I don't have to go through that steps. I can just click a button. So identifying these friction points, it just makes the development process much smoother. But it took a little time to do, but you know, it's going to save a long time in the long run. Anyway, so Friday, I pretty much got done with putting the details on this sector, and you know, it's looking great. And then I started on the next sector here, which is this little area. I decided to make it like another external, like rainy environment. Um, and I tried my hand in a more open view perspective, where there's this edge is open to the environment, and you can, based off the camera angle, you can kind of see, and the lighting, you can kind of see a little bit more of the external environment. So pretty cool, pretty neato. This shouldn't take too much longer to finish, and then, like I said before at the beginning of this video, just a few more things to do next week to complete this scene, and then it's on to the next scene. You know, it's I'm actually making a good clip. When I, you know, a month into it, I was like, oh, it's gonna take 3 more months to finish this level, and I'm not even thinking that anymore. I think it might just take I think it might just take 1 more month, maybe. Um, yeah, maybe 1 more month instead of the original estimated 3 more months. But I think we're at like a month and a half now, so instead of 4 months, it's probably 2.5 months. So, and that's pretty good for a level. I mean, um, especially like 2.5 months for, if this is only an hour, then maybe it's, you know, 5 months for a full core level. Who knows? But it's not too bad. It's just a lot of work. You know, what isn't a lot of work? You know, it's like if you don't, if you, you're not putting a lot of work into a product, then it's not really worth anything. It's not really valuable. So yeah, a lot of work, but at the end of the day, you know, it'll be worth something when I go to sell it. So, kind of a shorter video today. That's, you know, not much too significant to talk about. Just another standard week of level construction. Got a lot done, but you know, nothing development wise to really you know, to really discuss about. So I'll end it here, and we will meet you again next week.